Hello. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Pretty good. Fucking glare, buddy, glare. Whatever. I think I can do this much glare. Let's try our picture over here. This looks nice. All right. Hey, Ratchet Knight. Hope you're having a good morning. What are we working on now? We're going to improve the third-person camera by using Phantom Cam. This is one I've used in the past, and it's a free asset. And the cam that we have in the game, you probably noticed it was very, very janky. There's a lot of like jitter, and it doesn't collide well. So this is what we have. Like it's just not smooth. And then I think when you get up into walls, like it doesn't even goes right through the wall. So we're gonna try to improve that, and it's like limited on the angle it can have. But we also got some basic animations and a weird mushroom man. So if we drop this new camera in there, turn this music down a little. Whenever I'm talking, I don't even like the music. I like it when no one's here. And then pushing and pulling, throwing and grabbing. Our game is going to be like tossing and grabbing based. It'll be the main thing that you do. Because every time you grow a mushroom, you're a new mushroom guy, and he's expendable. So we're gonna plan to explode when your teammate throws you. You'll explode. Then you have to have a new mushroom. So we'll have like a reinforcements system where you need to grow new friends. Sounds fun, huh? All right, so we've got orbit system in here, orbit view. So this is just this. Let's save. So I'm gonna go ahead and commit what we have. Okay, add grab animation, git push. Now we're saved. We've got a save point for this new asset. So we just go Command Shift A. Oh, it must be Command A. That's going to be a class here. Phantom camera. Where is it? I haven't enabled it, perhaps. Plugins, Phantom Cam, on, close, save. Phantom, there they are. Okay, so now they appear, Phantom Cam 3D, and we know that they have a preset for third person, right? Follow mode, third person. So follow target, player, visual route. So this is what we'll have to figure out. Maybe go to the docs. We're gonna do a Ratchet and I said and go to the docs more often now. You know, that's just like a good policy. RTFC, read the fucking RTF. What is it? Read the fucking docs. RTFD. All right, so third person. Maybe I can click on that. Here we are. We've got, third person rotation. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, yeah, that's nice and smooth. Follow mode. Player node. So we need to be outside the player. Is that? We could also check out their examples. To me, that example setup. Input. Follow target player node. It's follow the position based on the follow. We'll try the perhaps doing it self. Like just this. And then we could even be as brave as to delete or remove orbit view. Yeah, we're not really changing any of the collision mask 2. That's interesting. So the only thing it collides with is players right now. That's why it goes through walls. Collision masks are very powerful. Okay, we are going to do this cam holder. So we have to orbit view. We could just keep the cam holder in there and then set it to false instead of true. So now, tween on load, look at mode. Noise, no noise. Pretty nice. Very nice settings. And they even have documentation. This should be communicate. Phantom camera host. Phantom camera host. Oh, so that's a different mode. When you have like a group of people, maybe you can follow. The follow offset. The offset that they have is it in this? FOV is 50, no offsets. This is interesting. M-cam position is right over the shoulder. Spring length 8. So perhaps we can spring arm, spring length. Yeah, let's do 4. And then there is this rotation offset. Those are all very good. Quickly preview a phantom with adjusting its priority. This is strictly to ignore the priority system and forcefully become the active one. Interesting. That is cool. Let's do the priority override. That's kind of what our intention here is, to just test it. It didn't like that because we have this other one. At least we didn't get any errors. So we can excise that one from the tunnel system. Just excise this. This is not being used except for our server. Hello? Can't see anything. It's not a camera. Curious. Changing priority, camera host. So I don't think we have a phantom camera host. Do we need it? Installation. Example scenes. Sure, we should do that. Scene requires. We do need a phantom cam, so it just like hangs out at the top level. Okay, this is what we were missing in terms of looking at the docs. So you actually do need a camera. All right. Once installed, a 3D scene will need the below minimum setup: a camera or a camera 2D node without a parent. This is slightly complicated by multiplayer because basically we no longer will have multiple cameras per player. You know, we're going to keep that. We're going to have one camera, and on each different player, it'll follow a different player. So, except for the scenes root. Okay, so camera 3D. A phantom camera node as a child of phantom camera host. Here we go. Host. Phantom camera host. There it is. And all instantaneous phantom cameras in the scene are assigned to a specific layer where the phantom, however, active as okay. There we go. And then at least one phantom camera node without a parent except for the scene's root. Okay, same thing. When you move the phantom camera around, the camera is now following it. This is unusual, but I'm sure they are doing it for good reasons here. All right, so now we have our third person selection, which is follow mode, third person, assign. So this should theoretically do nothing at the moment. So let's test that theory. Perfect. Oh, we can kick the fucking camera because we were on the same layer. That's good. That's excellent. Now we need to assign ourselves to the follow target. So we have a couple ways of doing that. We could add it to a group. I think maybe we'll try that for now. Phantom. Boom. Then we use this magic string. Someone told me not to use groups, and someone else told me to use them all the time. And there's really no balance, but we can get tree, get node and group, first node. Var cam equal. And then we can assign it here. Well, append follow target self. It's that easy. Didn't like that. Follow target position. Let's do a little timeout. Be like, you know what? You're not quite ready. Maybe we can just throw this after an await. Get tree, create timer. 1 second later, timeout. Await. You know, I haven't checked my YouTube comments. I wonder if anyone's there. Nope. That's good. I do so much in the inspector, I want my camera not to be on it. You know, maybe one day we'll take a little break and set up our office correctly, and then everything will be... So, global position, base object, nil. Follow target, global position. So if I do nothing, if I don't append follow targets, not a valid node 3D. Set follow targets. This is good. Oh, cool. They use groups, but they oh, I'm not using third person. I need to use a different function for third person. So let's say third person. Look at third person. Or there's a lot of third person. Let's try pen look at target. Let's a try here. Well, member of look at targets. We want to Oh, it would be a follow target, but why wouldn't follow target work? I think we'll look at the docs. Okay. This name is third person camera experiences. Perfect. Follow target is null. Set follow target. How about that? The PCAM 3D will follow the guy. Set follow target self. See if it likes that. Maybe. Oh, it's working. Hell yeah. All right. Hell yeah. Okay. So now the inputs. Shape, margin. Oh, these are all so good. Methods, rotation, set, third person quaternarian. We can do that. This is the piece that we need right here. All right, so let's we've got to do a little bit of thinking here. We need to process this and so we can do it here. And what did I do? Oh yeah, okay, perfect. So take that, and event needs to be passed in through input. So instead of doing this in set process, there is another function called input. So we'll do it right here. Func input. Input. And that has an event that we can pass into Phantom Cam. So we'll go down there. It's what we want. And we just do that. Event. Void. And now we got to okay, PCAM. Mixed use of tabs and spaces. Where are you, tabs and spaces? I will annihilate you. So the tabs and spaces issue is further up somewhere. Where? Okay. PCAM, perfect. Now we want to onReady var PCAM equal get first get tree. I think we already have it, but we're gonna get it here. Okay. Check on that group again. Phantom Cam. Is it Phantom Camera or Phantom Cam? It's Phantom Camera, but we've got it Phantom Cam here. What to say about that? Okay. PCAM. I like the word PCAM. All right, baby. Okay, okay. That's so much smoother. The interpolation is nice. It slows down. Doesn't snap. Oh god, it makes me dizzy though, because our facing direction is no longer based on... Uh-oh. So now, when we orbit view, this is all great stuff. We're learning how to make camera. So let's go to when we process our input, like walking or buff jumping. Do we ever orbit? By removing this cam holder, we'll see where we access it. So this input, this move direction on all of these, move left, move right, global rotation Y. So we need to cam holder. So the question is cam holder global rotation Y rotated. So we're getting the move direction depending on cam holder. And cam holder, what type of node is that? It is orbit view, which is a spring arm. Cool. I am locked in. Type chat. One in the chat if you're locked in. Boom. How about that? That is life. Life in the locked in zone. I do have to paste this in and pin. And then paste this in and pin, just in case. Duh. Okay. Wow. Locked in, huh? Modify orientation. Change the model rotation. What about this? Pass. Damn, yo. All right, this is fun. So first we'll keep that, I guess. Oop. We need the var. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. What if we go PCAM? What if we adjust all these to be PCAM? Okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. And PCAM is going to be now used in walk state. And we've got cam holder global rotation. Why? I'm going to try. Well, I'm not going to preserve that. I'm going to actually write var. Well, we could just all do it in line, right? We could do, we know that this is PCAM, right? And we know that there is a function in PCAM called get third person rotation degrees. .y. And then we just try the walk now. What? It's like not really any good. I wonder what that's about. Rotation degrees, maybe? Global rotation. So when I get global rotation off of PCAM or cam holder, let's see. Report transform. Rotate from vector. Rotate cam. to float, maybe? Get third person rotation. Let's try that without the degrees, okay? Trying to read the docs. That works perfect. Except, yeah, we just need a little bit of offset, a little height. We're so close. And not smash through the floor somehow. I like it. Oh boy, laundry's done. Oh my god, so exciting, everyone. I better go do my laundry. After I finish this. Laundry! What's up, Bruce Malt? We laundrying. What I'm doing is replacing this camera. Every time we have this cam holder, we need to get the P cam instead. It would be great if we could completely delete cam holder. Because we're using Phantom Cam now. Okay. Looks good. All right, cam holder. Now all we have to do is boop. Get rid of it. I'm just going to delete it. Less code is better code, right? And then we don't call this. Boop. Now we should have a working camera, but we shouldn't be, yeah, perfect. We're not facing the right orientation, but good enough for government. And then we can pick up a rock, drop the rock, throw the rock. It's a very not heavy rock. We got to fix that later. All right, laundry real quick. It's laundry day. Okay, where we are, where are we at? Woohoo! What are we doing? We're jumping. Laundry day is in progress. There's just not enough time in the day. All right, where are we at now? Share some screen. My dryer's dying. You hear it just absolutely destroying itself in the background. But I don't give a shit. Yeah, let's just turn this back on. And what we're gonna do is PCAM. And then just get rid of this one. And then that's it. Love it. Okay. Everything's going well. Delete you. Save. PCAM. Does it have to be in a root scene? Like, can it be in a, what about a, can it be a node? Just a node? Just hang? I think it'll like this, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Save branch as seen. Anthem feels good. Phantom cam scene instantiate. Instantiate. What if we do? Okay, that's good enough. So let's do some follow mode. Copy this value. You know, it's probably like a follow mode under phantom camera follow mode. You know, that's what I would guess. Follow mode dot third person. Perfect. And then oh man. So this is where we're going to control it in terms of aiming or not aiming. And we say wait, what a second. Oh, cool. You can add a camera. Okay. All right. Um, Secret Tunnel. It's a classic song. Let's say 7. And then the offset. Um, 1.5. I don't know. Feels fine. You can do like this. I don't think we need these, right? Just do. Yeah, because that's duplicitous. All right, let's do that. That makes sense to me. Okay. So let's quit this. Let's go to the remote scene. And what we'll do is we'll go to the Phantom Cam and we'll... Ooh, can we adjust that from here? Can we... Follow offset is still this. Oh, we're not calling setup pcam. Duh. Okay. It's starting to feel a lot like the one we had. It slides along the ground nicely. We can zoom in or zoom out on the mouse wheel. This is awesome. Okay. Ow. What's this button doing? I got a announcement here. Sunday release notes, actual. Hell yeah. Wait, was there a chat here? Yesterday. Okay, good. Making art. Holy shit. Secret tunnel. We've got no chatters today. That's all right. That's just how it goes. All right, I'll be right back, friends.
What's up? Yep.
Whoa, there's somebody. Wait. Oh, it's Sheriff Tumbleweed. Haha.
What's going on?
Hello. Let me just get situated here. I've been whew, running around. Yep. So, yeah, a couple things going on. I am replacing our camera with one that just works better. So, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, no need to do that. Okay, let me test. There's so many streams, so you know. You need drop the island. I'll just kill this island. Yeah. Um mhm. Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with you, and we're gonna have that resolved here in just one PR away. So, so you can see, I'm going to stream on Discord again, because that's gonna be good. Don't watch the stream other streams. So if I ask you to look at something like this, so we've got him, and I'm gonna get rid of that dot, but you see how the camera now, uh, that's, it's a spring arm, and see I can walk into the wall, and the wall, yeah, so that's all coming in this PR. And I'm starting to hate this mushroom guy, but it does, he's doing fine for now. Yeah, yeah, we should have something goofier. I did. Yeah, if you push a branch up, I'll be able to help out with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be that the server is still holding on to the item and you're in, like as in grabbing it. Mhm. Good thing. Ready. I might need to restart my computer because I'm getting like 2 frames, or I've got too many streams up. Uh, yeah, it's more just me abusing this poor MacBook who's just not meant for this. Kind of done with Windows for now because they're just so toxic, bad. Oh yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm. It's such a band-aid, and everything they do is just so anti-consumer, and nothing works. And it's astonishing that they have literally any market share because they just hate their customers so much. Oh God. Hmm. I used to just keep a gaming PC for, a Windows PC for gaming, but at this point, I'm actually not gaming enough even to justify having a PC, and I do need the game. I just use crossover, which is just interpolation layer on Mac. Um, so I'm just gonna buy more and more powerful Macs, and I would use Linux, but Linux is like it's kind of just not quite right. Yeah, it's good. It's just not a good daily driver in a way. Linux slander, says my chatter. How dare you have different preferences, opinions? And like, I've given Linux a shot many times, many times. And I am like the perfect target audience for it. But the second something like literally crashes on startup, is, boxes overflowing in the UI, it's just not there for like, I cannot recommend it to my family and my friends. I'm the most technical person. I could handle it, but also I do not want to spend the extra time to make sure it's behaving properly. And it does require investment, time investment, configuration investment, and that's great if you use NeoVim and or Emacs and you want to like piddle around in there. That was me when I was younger, but now I just want something that works and works well and has the best user experience. And you literally cannot beat Apple on that, and you cannot beat their ARM, M4 chips, M5 chips now. They're literally silent, uh, whereas Intel sounds like a helicopter taking off, and they completely not no heat. They're cold to the touch, and they sip power. Like I watched movies for 7 hours and got to half battery. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, if it works for you, yeah. If he's right. He's like, I'm not defending anything. I'm just like saying for my use case and for, my family and friends, like I recommend Mac, but yeah, if you're not trying my specific distro, I wish it was good. Like I've tried so many times and each time I've bounced off. It's just like using Unity. I've tried Unity several times and every time it was just a fucking miserable experience. So, unless something's changed tremendously. Yeah, I mean Godot is the best open source software I've ever used by far. Like it has the principle of least surprise. Like everything does exactly what you expect it to do. All the menus and settings are consistent across nodes and node types, and it's not. It doesn't do anything that's like, wow, I really didn't expect that to work like that. But it's like more like, huh, that's surprising, and it worked exactly the way I would expect it. It's just wonderful. When you rename something. Oh wow. Uh huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shaders are not good. Sure, that's cool. Yeah, I think Blender. It's also very powerful. It's got so many different like views and menus, and Blender's a good example of good open source, like great open source. Yeah. Holy shit, that's amazing. I didn't know that. I got to try that out because I was actually like kind of lamenting having to use like iMovie or something, and I'm like, or DaVinci. I don't want to use that either. Oh god, yeah, that's a big missing hole because I've got GIMP and I have Krita, and they're both infuriating in completely opposite directions. And let's not pretend Photoshop is a perfect program either, but unfortunately, it's still better. Unfortunately, not good enough to pay for, of course, but yeah, Krita. I would love to have like GIMP or Krita that's like good, and I keep looking for one, and it's just not there. Ace Bright, yeah, yeah, I do like Ace Bright. I just don't like to make pixel art because what is use accumulated input? If true, similar inputs are accumulated when the input is enabled. All input frame will be merged and emitted. That seems good. Limits the number of input method calls per second. Yeah, disabled. Just get slightly more precise reactive input across. Okay. Is enabled by default. So they have it enabled by default, and they're turning it off. Interesting. That is so interesting. They turn it off. Let's turn it off too. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's better. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would think capsule, yeah, a little squished. It doesn't matter too much, but you know, in Sketchfab, I keep going back to Sketchfab because that just has the most good stuff. There's like a lot of good inspirational things. Um, oh my god, look at that one! I've never seen that little fella. Yeah, I'm looking at my disc. If you look at the Discord stream, yeah, the thing that I did notice is that, like the head of the little mushroom. Okay, this is the one I wanted. The mushroom friend. This one's downloadable too. Um, so I don't know. The thing is that if you look at this thing from above, it disguises a lot of the actions. So I looked at using this guy and I was like, dude, his head is like entirely too big. Like it just disguises everything in third person. So yeah, I have to think. You have to think about that. Maybe use a different mushroom type. Maybe enoki or we had all these other mushrooms, you know. So you need to make it visible, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A morel, you know, just like it's more vertical. Could be good, right? Mhm. Yeah. You know what's interesting though, now that I look at the morel, it looks a lot like a gnome hat, right? Of course, we can customize, but if you kind of think about the mushroom more as a hat rather than his head, it helps to read the character underneath better, right? Because that's cool, but this doesn't really work because now I can't even see my feet. I mean, it's cute from this angle, but the character angle is very important to think about when you're modeling it. That's why a morel with like verticality work. That hat is just entirely too big. That's a tall hat. Like a, wizard hat definitely obscures the character too. And then we could also think about if you're able to create animations, you could use the little Godot guy as a starting point. But since I'm not able to make, oh man, amazing. That is an incredible skill. Incredible. You know, I'm loving this new camera. That's my focus. Making that smooth, getting that aim working. it's definitely getting polished. The thing I'm doing now is adding a function for aiming. Yeah, but the aim doesn't happen um, because I'm swapped out our camera. So there's no aim on the new camera, so I'm adding it. Aim works by default on the old one, but it's like really janky. I'm changing everything. It's just a completely different add-on. It's called Phantom Cam. Yeah. Yeah, I've considered it. I think I've tested it out. It has like a ton of additional options, but we're using just the third person follow mode, and you can adjust the spring arm length and the zoom and all that, and deleting the old cam means that none of those, variables will apply anymore. I've got to manually apply them. Trying to reason about where we store the aim offsets. Let's think. Yeah, probably doesn't matter at this point. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's early. I'll probably get redone. Yes. Ooh, near. What is near? Set near. Set. Mm-hmm. Frustrum offset. Let's see. Set near. What's the value of float? Get near. Follow damping. Follow offset. I'm trying to figure out what I could use to. Here's what we'll do. Can I add a variable to a already beautiful? Um, I feel like it's better to have limbs for the purpose of pushing, pulling, grabbing, just hard to track. Like, I never liked Rayman, like, he was always just so fucking weird and prefer, like, the perfect character is actually Super Mario 64. Yeah, there's like a Godot plugin that just runs the machine code for Mario 64. And so you can just drop in a Mario to any level that you make. Is there a way to use like is there like metadata on a node? Meta. Set meta. That's an interesting choice. Cam aimed. Okay. So now that will restrict the, it'll cause it to strafe. Almost. That's interesting. Works great when idle, but there we go. Hell yeah. All right, so you see how I'm running around and aiming? Yeah, you can throw upwards easily since I changed the offset during the aim. So right now, aim is, this is free cam where I'm just like kind of running around. And then when I aim, he faces forward and the camera forces him in the direction. And now the offset in the Phantom Cam script, we have default length 7. It's slightly more zoomed in. I think maybe we'll go 6, get a little closer. And then you can have a default offset, which is center. Yet Y is going to be up and down. And then the aim length, this will cause it to be down to this. So we go. Spring length, follow offset. Now I just have to do the thing. I'm wondering how useful this script is. I think it's not useful at all now. So we'll take these into the player. That's where we would set them anyway. Say region. Region end. How do you end a region? End region. I didn't start a region, maybe. Region. There we go. All right, so now I just collapse that. It's the most useless node I've ever seen. We're going to delete it. Maybe not. You'll get back into it, right? You just need a little practice, perhaps. I need a little coffee. Okay, perfect. This was great. We're going to just do cam aimed. Yes, I think it's a pretty critical part of the character controller to get right. Yeah, you think they do a good job or a bad job? Uh-huh. Uh the Nameless King? Yes, I love Dark Souls 3. What was the toughest boss for you? Sekiro. I never played Sekiro. Yeah, I see. I see. Interesting. Yeah. Uh, it's just, a lot of reps, a lot of practice, and when you do get it done, it feels so good. It's such a endorphin. Um, I don't like Elden Ring either. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I did love the visuals, like the environments. But Elden Ring gameplay, it didn't do as much for me as like Dark Souls 3 or some other ones. Just in terms of, yeah. I can see that. I thought that the weakest part was the dungeons because they all were templated. Yeah, I felt it's like, oh, I'm just playing another one of these dungeons and they're all on a, I get that they're modular and there's a lot in the game and like it's a great game. It's just like definitely not like the 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10 people claim it is. But that's all right. Not everything can be incredible. It's just a very good game, and rather than a masterpiece like people claim, that's just not true. Sifu, yeah. Isn't that like a martial arts game? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Damn. Skill. Oh yeah. Yeah, I see. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta localize for you know, the plebeians. That's interesting. We feel the same way about Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and like it's a very unusual opinion. I know that we do see eye to eye on many things, which is a good sign for. Yeah, there's like you can get the Rig Pro one too. Auto Rig Pro I've seen used before. All right. Do you know how to use setters in Godot? Have you seen this pattern? Setters, getters. So yeah, I find it really powerful now, and it's not something I've done a lot of. But I think it's like there's one in here. So the ragdoll is on a setter, and it is this syntax with a colon after set equal. Make sense? And you have this whole function that fires off, and the way you use it is just uh you can do ragdoll equal false, right? And it runs all this code, which is amazing to me. Yeah. And the first thing you do is you do need to remember to actually set the value you're tracking because it won't do that by default. You could literally, so it's like I've had a, it's so, but it's great because like all this conditional logic is now isolated to essentially a true false like setting, and you do need to turn the physical bone simulator on. You need to turn the animation tree off, and then we also need to throw it out to the multiplayer synchronizer. This final step here. So you can see my example. What I'm about to do in the player character is we have this cam aimed true false, and it'll be really easy just to do a set equal set cam aimed, right? And just drop down here, func set cam aimed, and this is a pattern I'm going to be using. I started using on my last game jam. It says it can't be used as a setter because of its signature. Of course, value. Boom, boom. Now we definitely want a cam aimed equal value, right? First thing. Now all this code is essentially the same, but the cool thing is that we now have if value or not value. We can start with the not value because we have all of these default. We have default length, right? We go cam follow length, right? I think it's spring length. Pcam. It's got to be pcam. Dot spring length equals default length. Boom. Now I can set all the values for the non-aimed and the aimed right here. It's super nice. Thanks for hearing about my love of setters getters. The little teaching corner. Let me know if you come across anything you want to show me, because you know, if you, maybe in Blender, so I can get a familiarity with that. Yeah, if you've got a like here's how I extrude a thing, or I know so little. Yes. Hmm. So when you have a skeleton, you can use a look at modifier 3D, which is a brand new node. And I'll show you how it works if you just look at his video. You do not need to, you can't, this is basically IK in a box. Okay, so where's the ones with the arms? Here's the, so see that ball? He's got like these nodes, and you don't need, I mean, it is IK, right? But it's all automatic because he's got a bunch of look at modifiers, and we can use fewer because we might not have an elbow, right? It'll just be straight out. But I've used this for guns. You can rotate the whole torso. It's very nice, and it's brand new in 4.4. Yeah. Damn. Just so good. IK used to be a lot harder, I'll tell you that. Aim length, and then Make some coffee. Back. All right, more coffee. What's up? Cool. So when you make a Rigify rig, do you have to specify a type of skeleton, like a humanoid or like a, and then number of, do you get to like decide how many digits it has, like thumb plus one or thumb plus simplified hand? No fingers, yeah, exactly. That's what I was asking. Yeah. Um, oh, let's see. The breastbone I've seen on other, like, I sent you that mesh to motion thing. It's pretty nice. It'll actually, it has a full rigger in there. And so you upload a mesh and then you just move the bones around and you can select from ones with fingers, no toes, no finger, you know. And it's a humanoid skeleton that will match all of the animations given. Yeah. Oh, it has a mirroring mode in there. The mesh to motion tool does. It's pretty cool. Yeah. If you look at my screen, you can see so you've got thumb plus main finger, right? And this edit skeleton, and then it shows you in pink where the mesh will be deformed. If you, yeah, well, I think those are issues essentially, but yeah, just so you just kind of move this. That's how I rigged the mushroom man. But you could take all of these and just you could shorten, shorten his torso and make him more smush down. I guess it'd be this there. Yeah, it's a really nice tool. Back to camera. Yeah, I'm gonna work on the camera now. Oh man, I keep missing my chats, but hey, Pet New, yes, I'm developing a little game, multiplayer game, uh, like a friend slop game, but it's called Friend Gem because it's a gem of a, you know. So that's what I do here. It's working Godot. Yeah. Oh man, what was that idea that I had a name and I totally forgot it. Spore Odyssey. Yeah. I don't think we have to worry about a name yet. Mm-hmm. Spring length. So what do I do? Let's look at the docs for Phantom Cam. What does this mean? Frustrum offset? Property near. What is the near and far? Oh, I know what that is. Okay. It's volumetric fog in the environment, and it can be turned off or on, and just the eventual thing we'll do is probably bake light maps. You can use like a voxel GI, right? And it's just going to be a really nice way to do interiors. You get a lot of dynamic lighting for very low cost. And since we have tunnels and even large caverns and stuff, it'll be very efficient to pre-bake most of the like almost all of the light. Um, tuning like a look and feel. Yeah, I think it will probably move to more like a cartoony or toon shader kind of thing. Yeah, as it's literally the toon shader example. I don't know if we want we could just slap a toon shader on it and see what it look how we feel about it. That game that we looked at, Gloom and Shroom on the mood board. It's a nice way to do it. Oh look, he's a little mushroom. You can see. I just saw your chat from like 30 minutes ago. Oops. Yeah, keep sending stuff. You got a developed version of the Mushroom Man? Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that anything that will works for you, whatever works for your flow, because I'm trying to. Amazing. Let's try rotate with offset. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, that's a nice way to do it. How do you do that? Apparently, this plugin comes with a bunch of examples that I'm completely ignoring. So let's look at those. Hell yeah. This might not work. Okay. Oh yeah, baby. That's what we're looking for. Hell fucking yeah. I should have just stolen this script. It's a different camera. Oops. So bad. It doesn't work at all. Perfect. So that's what we'll do. Let's see here. Great. Yeah, that's tough for me to. I mean, obviously. Uh huh. don't know. But the Godot plush has a blink animation that actually uses a shader to manipulate it. It's already carrying over, yeah. No, help modify that. It's pretty simple. The shader animation is something I don't really understand, but it swaps out like a blink anim. It's a blink thing, but you can look into that Godot plush node and trace it. It's kind of cool. There's basically three materials. There's the overall blue of the character, and then there is an eyeball on each side, essentially. And they actuate by, you know, he blinks periodically. Oh, yeah, it looks like I did. Sometimes I get chats. Hell yeah, spam, block. Let's see if sometimes there's chatters and I miss them, but sometimes there's not. This is my branch. I just swapped back to the just to test the camera. All right. So now if I got so many little Godot guys, take the LF off of this. Still doesn't work. It's interesting I can't switch sides while I'm holding this because it's not reading this dynamically. Yeah, it's just a nice to have. Um, we're gonna cheat. Okay, we're just gonna cheat. There we go. Fire. Now look at how good it is to aim. Now I just need to remove the dot when we're not aiming. But that's gonna feel so much nicer once we get there. Oh, this actually works very, very well. It works so much better than it does in the current main, and very happy with the way the camera's behaving. Let's fucking... Okay, go. All I gotta do now is go to player UI, and we have a couple of options. Player UI is always tough because there's this tight coupling between what's happening on the player and what's happening in the UI. And I've done many different strategies. You can try to do like a signal-based approach, which is probably best. But the other thing you can do is just get parent, you know. Uh-huh. Yeah, let's just do the get parent. I'm going to call it CR equal get parent. And no, this is going to be type player. That's it. Um, oh, it's still not gonna like that. I wonder why. Why is PCAM null here? And every other reference is not null? Well, there are a lot of nulls, actually. What does that mean to me? Well, we could just... Like no signals on this player. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I totally get it. Yes, that sounds great. It doesn't sound bad at all. So let's see how they do it in this plush. So the way I traced it is on the Godot plush, he's got 3 materials. Um, and if you look at this, I think it's playing in here. You see that? So I don't think, yeah, it's offset, UV offset right there. Do you see that? It went to 7.5, 0.75 for a second when he blinks. Yeah. And it looks like the albedo texture has halfway open, closed, and then normal. And so we could make him like really goofy. This is being set by a shader parameter, which is offset. So if we look at the shader, so open up the spatial, we are going to albedo texture plus UV offset and all that stuff. Now, how is, yeah, the interesting part is that, watch this, we have an animation tree. And what's happening here is that you see this blink animation is running. So that means if we go to our custom animation blink, we have surface material, you can call functions, you can emit signals. It's very powerful, but it's hard because that is the path to rig, skeleton, plush, surface material override, shader parameter, UV offset X. Every couple seconds, we're going to modify that. And now this is part of the less good part of Godot, where the animation player kind of isn't perfect. But this is how we do it. And the footsteps run in a similar manner. What I can do is close him out, and we can look at our mushroom guy. You see, he has also the same thing, but I disconnected the blink because there was, no offset going on. And then he has this function on this track, and it just emits the footstep whenever he's running. So you could emit blink, you could emit talk, you could do whatever. And then that's just on this footstep. And that's how all of the one-shots work as well. So waving, I have like grabbing, just animation, emitting. And then we have one chatter. Hello, Ruined. Where is DevVars? Where is Secret Key? Please, can you help? Secret Key is up to you to set when you are setting it up in Cloudflare if you choose to do so. The secret key, I will need to actually document this better, but let's go over here. And I do think my whole screen is visible, right? It's not. Let's do that. So secret key is not very secret. It's actually in the lobby menu. The lobby system.dd, and I will give you the secret key. Here it is. So if you're running your own, I need to give it to you. I'm so sorry. Let me document this better. There you go. And now I will jump over to Alacrity. And it's not secret. It's just designed to basically bounce anyone who is just randomly hitting ports, right? And if you choose to follow the instructions in the Cloudflare section, which is here, this README will help. So I should have really done a clean clone of this so that it works, because I'm just new to open source, and in this way I have failed you. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to go to index and secret key. We're gonna commit it in here, okay? Should I copy this variables and secrets into Cloudflare? Yes. There is a step in the README that says go to, once the build is complete, you'll be able to add a secret key. So on my screen, you can see that instruction. And you just have to name it this, and then you use the value. Now, you can change it in both locations, obviously. You don't have to use my secret. I should put this as default secret key. I should go like this. I should go default secret key like that. But I'm going to use this random one. Wait, this is a type. And now we'll go to the README. All right. I feel like I'm flummoxed. Um, but now it should all work when you just boot it by default. That was helpful. Thanks. I did have a guy or two people set it up in Cloudflare on their own, and it worked for them. So you should. I think Cloudflare is very simple, very powerful. So I hope you enjoy your experience with Cloudflare, and fuck AWS. You can still use AWS. But I've enjoyed seeing my bill become 0. Literally 69 cents, I think, is my new total, rather than $12.50 a month. That's a considerable difference. Add defaulting of key. There we go. That key is not protected whatsoever. Appreciate your comment. We'll raise an issue or anything. If you find another issue, feel free to raise an issue in the repo as well. All right, I think we're doing really well today. We've got a lot of progress. It's good progress. I think I'm gonna rip out this other mushroom guy because he kind of fucking sucks. He's really edgy. Look, it's free, and but he just looks like shit. I thought it would be helpful to have like a mushroom-like dude, and I enjoyed using that mesh to motion tool, but it is really cool because I've got like a fuck ton of like, oh man, here's a roll from a Dark Souls roll. He ain't rolling. That's because the animation tree is currently active. So All right, time to roll. Let's see the roll. The roll is really good. Whew. That's a good roll. So this is what you can get. He's got like punch. Here's a punch jab. He's just good. Yeah. So jump. Oh, I like the interact a lot. Boop. That almost looks Dark Souls like when he's like opening a. Yeah. So I think that the sword attack. Are you familiar with the difference? Yeah, actually, you know what's funny? What if they just like, yeah, use it as inspiration? That'd be cool. Are you familiar with the difference between root motion and non-root motion? So there are two ways of moving a character with animations. One of which is what we see here, where this walk cycle actually just plays. And this character is stationary because you can see his root bone in the middle of him is stationary. So that means he's going to move via physics, basically, velocity forward. There is another way of moving characters, and it's really good and used in all types of Dark Souls games, where the animation will actually drive the action. So in this case, if we had root motion enabled, the roll would go all the way like over here, and it basically root motion is powerful for uh, programming and animation. Like for this roll, if I were to use it, I would have to like say, oh, roll in this direction for this amount of time for that amount of whatever, right? But instead you could just take his root bone and just move it forward or move it up or down, right? And root motion is generally harder to set up in the animations, but it's better in the long run for like an action game. And it's not hard to like do, but it is going to require manipulating the animation root node. I could open up a different project that has root motion. Oh no, I've got to go soon. Get you this. I'm trying to get this camera out. I probably won't have time because. Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet, but I will. And just. Okay. Okay. So you watching my screen? Okay. So this is a root motion node, but if I don't use this, let's see, let's delete it and then try playing the animation. He should just like walk forward in like 3D space. Damn, that bone is not moving. Interesting. Can't even demo, but basically he would move like over here. Let's see if these are wrong, or maybe these are. No, these are all. Okay, can't demo. I will come back later. Because I've got to go take a couple of things. I might leave the stream up, but I'll close some of the streams. For throwing and tossing and stuff. Gosh, maybe I can just get this branch out real quick. It's gonna be risky. I've got to get off. I know I'm gonna get aggro from the wife. Essentially, is what's gonna happen. So, she's good, but she also needs like some help with stuff when she gets home. But yeah, let's see. Is this version? Yeah, this version's so much better. Okay, I'm gonna keep the player mushroom in there because I might want to reference some of the animations later. We can always just use that player mushroom area for putting yours in, but it'll currently just be the Godot plush we're used to. Yeah, I'm just saying I'm gonna delete him, the mushroom dude, later. Mushroom man, player UI, player state mushroom. Yeah, this is a big set of changes. Yeah, that could be cool. Add phantom cam. All right. I'm just gonna merge this into main. I think shouldn't mess with you too much, right? I recommend grabbing this though because you can test out and just have a better cam, right? Great. All right. I will come back and take a look at your toss branch if you get that toss branch pushed, and then I'll integrate it. Okay. Yeah. If there's a PR, I can look at that, but I'll find the PR. I think I can find the branch name. But all right. Talk to you later. Later.